Hello.
Yeah, is Rohaizi is online. Yes, we can see you.
Hi,
Perfect.
Rohaizi. We can see you very well.
Okay, right. Hi, Nagendra.
Yes,
How are
yes.
you?
Very good, very good. Fantastic. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah. Now we sort out the things now.
You changed the shirt and now everything is working well.
Oh yeah, I think maybe one of the color is different just now.
Yes, yes. So thank
Yeah.
God this happened. We really
Yeah.
needed you. Now, just a quick thing to remind you that are you connected with charger and everything if you have connected the device so that we don't get disconnected in between?
Yeah, I have all these devices connected to the charger is all set and with all my
Awesome.
phones and other. Yeah, thank you very much.
Fantastic,
Yeah,
fantastic. So we are waiting for a couple of more people to join in.
sure.
Yeah, switch on
And
your video.
perfect.
Okay.
So how's I see Sunil there. Hi, Sunil.
Second.
Hi.
There's a when somebody join in and it just goes off, something like that, right?
Yeah, it's okay. We will
Yeah.
deal with delay. I can understand. How's the
Yes, we can.
cyclone situation in your
Perfect.
place?
Oh, we doesn't affect with that.
Oh, you're not getting
Yeah,
affected.
because but then what we affected now is actually the what we call equinox, and our as for yesterday, I had a student from Canada who flying in Malaysia.
Yes.
Then the temperature goes up to 40 degrees,
Yes.
and he got a burning face.
Oh my God.
Oh gosh. And he's supposed to continue again fly today. Then I said, okay, take a break for 2 or 3 days. Then probably he will continue right after that.
And you can imagine what must have happened to his glider in that temperature then.
Oh gosh, it's not crunchy. It's not. It's like a frying glider. No, it's not good. It's not good to fly at this weather. It's too hot. So are you still flying?
We are in lockdown, man. I mean, we are in
Yeah.
lockdown because of Corona.
Yeah.
So we are not flying at the moment.
Ah, okay. Because you see what happened is we also locked down, but what we call this as an MCO is what they call the movement control order,
Yes.
and but now it's actually CMCO. That means conditional movement control order. That means we can still flying, but in the small group.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so at least we can still flying.
Very nice. And there is
Yes.
great amount of social distancing in sky. You cannot come near.
No, I don't allow them to come near me.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So we are expecting close to 100 participants here,
Yeah, sure.
and a lot of people will also see live on YouTube tonight.
Yes. Right.
And
Understand.
I'm waiting for some more people to join in. We'll wait for 5 more minutes and then we start.
Yeah.
Hello,
That sounds good.
everybody.
Hi, how are you?
Very
Captain
fine.
Rajesh is here.
Yes.
It's such an amazing experience.
Yes.
Yeah, Captain. That's right.
So, how many of us are there?
People
There
are
are
pouring
many.
in by the second. Right now, I can see participation is 25, and we are expecting up to 100 people to join in here, and many people will see us live on YouTube and follow us there
Great.
and ask questions from there. And
Again, there, color tika laga le. You are looking like a
Hey, hi, Captain
Shashi
Rohaizi.
Kapoor. Hey, hi, how are you? Wow! New look, man.
Fantastic.
Yes, okay.
ए भाई ये तो चंबल वाली बात दिख रही है कुछ.
हाँ, सारे भाई जुगाड़ हो गए, अपने गोला हो गए सारे चंबल वाले.
Very good, very good.
Yeah, Mangesh.
Yes, hi.
Hi, sir.
Hi, Mangesh. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Mangesh ji, good evening.
Good evening.
Eric sir.
Eric sir, आ गए.
Eric
Eric sir
sir.
आ गए.
Yeah.
Hello sir, good evening sir.
Very good evening, Eric
Good
sir.
evening. Good evening. Yeah, Amol, how are you?
Hello sir, एकदम बढ़िया sir, thank you sir.
Good to
Hi,
see you.
Amol.
Sir, hello sir.
All well?
All well sir, thank you sir.
Eric Saab, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
So nice to see you.
Thank you so much.
Hey, hi, good evening, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, good evening.
Hi,
Ravi here,
Ravi.
Hi,
Ravi
Ravi.
here.
Oh, Ravi have a very nice background, huh?
Yeah, Melbourne, yes. I'm sitting in beer billing actually.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I can see that. The slider control behind Ravi is excellent. This guy is not.
It has not moved even a little bit. Yeah.
Yes, Eric sir, how are you?
I am absolutely fine.
Nice to see you again here.
George loves his dinosaur ice lolly so much he doesn't want to eat
So
it.
guys, I think we should start 35. And
Mute.
can I request everybody else to mute other than Rohaizi? Perfect. Okay.
Rohaizi needs to unmute himself.
Yeah, Rohaizi needs to unmute yourself, please. Rohaizi?
Yep, all right. I'm
Okay,
done.
great. I can hear you very well.
Yep. Yes, sir.
For some time, it's you and me, our date, a long time after Thailand.
Oh, yes, that's right. I miss that, man. Actually, I miss India more with
Yes.
your, what they call, with all the flower festival.
Yes, that was in South of India.
Batukama.
Yeah, that was Batukama
Yeah.
festival in Hyderabad.
Yes, that's right.
That was fantastic. So,
Yeah.
great. Welcome all pilots to Flying Stories, another session of Flying Stories. Pilots from paragliding, paramotoring, PPC, PHG, skydiving, and other forms of aerosport. And it's really nice to have you here. Before I introduce our very honored guests tonight, I would like to introduce myself. I'm your host for today evening. My name is Nagendra Pratap Singh. I'm a paragliding pilot and a paramotoring pilot. And I participate and represent India in World Paramotoring Championship and Asia Oceanic Championship. Also, Rohaizi and me go long back. And
Yeah.
so sharing our thoughts on flying and flying together in many sites. So without holding back, I will introduce Rohaizi Mohammad Hussain. He is 49 years old and has been flying for over 20 years. He is a flying enthusiast. He's an authority in Malaysia and in FAI. He's been judging paramotoring competitions internationally and nationally for over 20 years. Rohaizi has been on international jury of FAI from 2012. He's actively judging many paramotoring championships and Asia Oceanic Championships, World Paramotoring Championships, and many other international events. He is one of the most sought after pilot, trainer, and authority in Malaysia for aerosports. Rohaizi is currently president of Malaysian Paramotoring Sports Club since 2012. He is also founder of Langkawi Air Recreation Park. His association in past with SEMA, Commission of International Micro Aviation, and he became the first SEMA certified jury president from Asia. Also, Rohaizi has been successfully hosting many international events linked to aerosports, and 8 of them which are of high repute. In 2017-18, he had conceptualized paramotoring tour of Malaysia, and it's a very beautiful thing. I will let him speak about it during this talk sometime. But only thing I can say, it is a cross country spread across many days. You fly, you land on beaches, stay, have fun, and you finally end the competition flying in and around Petronas Towers in Kuala Lumpur. Rohaizi is a Bollywood fan, and I know that he sings quite a few Hindi songs. And basically, it's been a great journey. So Rohaizi, up to you how this will go. We will chat, and I'll ask you a few questions. And there are a lot of pilots who are there online, and I will bring their questions after 15-20 minutes. And the stage is yours for quite some time. So we would like to know how you got into this sport and what is happening. And I would just want to also let you know that this group of pilots who's listening to you are from beginner level to advanced level. So keep that in mind, please.
Sure. Okay. First of all, pleasure to be invited into this flight. And yeah, this is the great opportunity.
Again, there's a lot of echo.
Yeah. Checking. Rohaizi, you are not clear right now. Some problem with the connection.
Okay. How is it? Okay.
Not really. Try now.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Nothing else.
I think Rohitji, your voice is breaking. We are barely able to hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't use this. How about guys?
Perfect. It is clear. It is clear. Absolutely clear.
This is better.
Yeah, now it's much better. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, but I couldn't hear.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear.
Rohaizi, your voice is breaking. You know, there's some static with your microphone.
Hello.
Yes.
Can you know?
But your voice is broken, Rohaizi. It was
Okay, now is it okay? I try to. I'm not using the screen.
no, not clear yet. What setting did you change? Because your voice was clear, you know, when we were discussing just before the start.
No, actually it's the same.
Okay. Now we can see you.
I didn't change anything.
Guys, sorry about this technical glitch.
Hello, Nagendra. Hello, Nagendra. This is Ravi here.
Yes, Ravi.
What I would like to request to every member, if they can switch off their video and audio, it will improve the latency, and then we'll have the good voice.
Good idea.
Yeah. Okay. So I request everyone, please just mute your audio and the video streaming.
Yeah, I'll keep mine on.
Yeah, except the Nagrendra, you as a host and the guest. Yeah.
Rohaizi, can you speak so that we can check your voice if it is okay now?
Okay, check 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's much better, but it's still
Better.
breaking, but it's much better. Thank you, Ravi, for the tip.
You're welcome.
Rohaizi, it's your mic.
Yes.
You can address us.
Okay. Now, just what for how you call the camera?
It's
Uh,
gone again.
It's gone again. Can I?
I can hear.
Okay, Rohaizi, can you do a little voice test again?
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, it's breaking. It's breaking. It's possible to remove the the headphone.
Okay. Now
Yeah.
I'm go directly. How about now?
This is clearer. This is much better. No, it's breaking again.
No, there is a problem.
I think if the problem is, can you disconnect Rohaizi and connect back? Can you disconnect and connect back? Okay. Rohaizi, can you hear me? Just 1 minute. We'll try, or we go on to our plan then.
Nagendra, he needs to log out from this device and log in again.
Yes, I'll call him. 1 minute. Okay, guys, there's some technical glitch while he connects. I would like to invite Siddharth as well, and we would touch upon certain topics and then open for your questions as well as at best we could answer. If he comes in between, then I will connect him again and we'll keep the continuity. So welcome, Sid. So today is about, we were going to talk about safety of paramotoring and how, I mean, the question is how safe is paramotoring compared to other aero sports? And Sid, would you like to say something about it?
No, I would. You continue, please continue.
Okay, I'll have to pause 1 minute. Sorry, Rohaizi is calling. I'll just get him online. Rohaizi, you have logged out, and can you log in again? Okay. Yes. Okay, if I'll see you, I'll get you in. Okay. Yeah. So guys, uh, I would talk about a few things here. Safety in paramotoring, it is a very safe sport, just like some of you would have tried. How it is different from primarily paragliding is that we have another equipment which is engine and the rig which is on your back, and you have propellers, you have a couple of other things aiding you to take off by giving power. And for the safety, you have to really look into a lot of aspects of how your engine is maintained, performing, how is your frame, how is your cage, how is your harness, and it's really important to take care of all your other equipment, just like you take care of your glider. And that means you should know about your equipment, you should know about your engine. There are a lot of kinds of engines and equipments available, and it is like a mini plane on your back, and you need to know technically a lot of things about this gradually, not in the beginning, but also gradually when you are progressing from beginner to advanced levels. Let me just check with Rohaizi once more. Calling.
Okay, check 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you hear me?
Yes, Rohaizi, you are back. We can
All
hear
right.
you. And if
Yes.
you think network is a problem, then we can hear your audio. That is also okay.
All right.
All right. So back to you. I will start again so that we continue from where we left. Okay. So
Okay.
much clearer.
Okay.
Great. Welcome back.
Yes. Okay.
Beautiful. Now
Hopefully-
it is much better. Thank you.
All right.
So can you take us through what exactly you're doing with paramotoring at the moment, other than what I introduced, and what's your passion and how you got into it?
All right, thank you. First of all, I would like to again thank you to you and the whole Indian community, especially the paramotoring and paragliding community, by in inviting me into this forum. And I would like to take this opportunity to share whatever that I have experienced for the past 20 years. It's not like to teach you, but just to share what actually that I've gone through for the past 20 years. So this is exactly what maybe can benefit to the community there and also whoever listening to our conversation. Now, currently what I'll do is actually number one is I'm running my school, so Paramotor School. So I have my students all over the world. And as I said, just before we start our conversation, that I got a student from Canada. Then we have an equinox now, and so the weather is so hot, and it'll be very difficult. So that's why this is important for us to know how weather will affect our sports. So besides doing my school, I also assisting the government to implement or to develop a new licensing system that, because you see what happened is we have the license before, and there will be they stop the license system and they come out with a new one, and then with the new technology and a new qualification and all that. So this is all new. So that's why maybe after this MCO we're going to have a new system here in Malaysia.
Sure, great. So we'll go back to our topic. Thank you so much. And how safe is paramotoring as compared to other aerosports?
This is a very, very good question. I would say that because whenever we introduce paramotor to the people, the first question they ask me whether this paramotor dangerous or not. All right. I will say that I want to emphasize here that paramotor is not dangerous, but we are actually in the high risk sport. When we talk about high risk sport, that means we know where is our level. That means you must understand your capability, your equipment's capability, and what is the weather condition. So that's why it's a very, very much important that you must have a proper training, proper instructors to tell you or to guide you how to analyze the risk factor. So because what makes not just paramotor, it's a paragliding or other sports aviation. What makes it dangerous is because you don't know what you don't know. So that's why the most important is we must know what we should know. And that's why we need the people to tell us what we should know. So by knowing the limit of our sport, so then we will fly within the boundary, within the limits, and it will be very, very safe sport. Yeah.
Okay. But how do you think, we have a lot of participants today who are into paragliding already. So how do you think it is different in safety from paragliding to be a paramotoring pilot?
Okay, if you want to compare those two sports, paramotor and paragliding. Now, we will see the requirement. Okay, why paragliding? The reserve parachute is compulsory. It's either in recreational or a competition. Both reserve are compulsory. That means the risk factor is higher than the paramotor. All right. For instance, because it's not like because they are mainly depending on weather. They are mainly depending on maybe like we want to fly, the updraft, the thermal, So then sometimes, for instance, if experienced paramotor pilot normally when they go into thermal, they will get rid of it. They just go out of the thermal because it be shaky. But when paragliding, they just love it. They just love it. They just go into thermal and they just flying. Then they just climbing into the thermal. So then this is the risk where when in the thermal, when we feel shaky, that means the chances of the canopy going to collapse is higher than flying in the calm weather. So that is one of the factors. So that's why if you want to compare, I would say that at some angle, the risk of paramotoring is much lower compared to the paraglider.
And what do you think? It's lightweight when you fly paragliding equipment, yeah. But paramotoring, if you especially fly backpack, then what kind of risks are involved, or what is the paramount thing to be going into a safe flight?
Okay, all glider have a weight limit. Okay, the specification is either you fly light or you fly heavy. Is not the main issue. The main issue is you must choose a right glider and the right machine for the right purpose. For instance, maybe I'll say that ozone M size, for instance, the range is for paragliding is about 70 to 120. So when your weight is 65, you should have a smaller canopy. And when you fly out of this the range that the specification in the glider, so that is where the problem starts. So there is a teaching because I heard it because when I fly paragliding, I think many years back. Somebody told me, "Oh, Rohaizi, you have to fly a bigger canopy so you can easily inflate and easy climb." Then I said, "Okay, I'll do that." No, I just go on the paragliding with the bigger canopy. So what happened is actually I got a collapse. So that time, they said, "Oh, why?" Then they said, just put the blame on me, saying, "Oh, why is this collapse?" But when I found out later, when we go a proper training, we go proper, then my instructor told me, it's just simple. You see the range. You are that time I'm just about 75 kilo. So the L size is the minimum is 80 kilo. So if I fly with that, I should fly with the ballast of another 5 kilo. So that's the mistake. So this is why uh, light or heavy of the pilot or the machine is regardless because the canopy is designed for that particular weight. But the most important is you fly within the weight limit given by the factory or by the manufacturer of the glider.
Yes. Now, what is the role in safety? Because we have a couple of more equipments on our back or in the trike, yeah, which is engine, propellers, frames, cages, and I have seen a lot of people choose or design many things on their own and make these equipment by themselves as compared to somewhere the international brand. But what is the role of safety for all in flying with all this?
All right. There's a two issue here. Uh, because it's not just India. I think even Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, we have faced the same issue where we have a lot of the homemade equipment. All right. Uh, to me personally, I don't mind on homemade equipment because my first paramotor that I fly is actually is homemade. It's not the branded one. But the problem is like this: we must ensure that if you are doing the homemade, you know about where is the CG, what is the weight limit. Now, because what I've seen is actually they built the homemade trike with the stainless steel and end up because they don't weigh it. All right, they don't weigh it in, and I found there is one trike is goes like something like about 50 kilo. 50 kilo and the pilot is about 85 kilo, then it add up together is around 130 150 kilo, where they're using the glider of the maximum limit of 120 kilo. So this is the problem. All right, so when we talk about what they call the branded one, I mean the one that mass production, they have the specification, then we know what's the weight. So that's why it's a very important for us. uh, if you want to fly the homemade, ensure that all the welding, the joint, and the equipment used is all being certified or being tested. It's not just simply, but in overall, if you ask me, I would prefer to fly those. I cannot say a branded one, Nagendra. It's not brand. That means it's on the mass production, on the mass production, because they are they have a very strict uh, regulation that they have to follow when they build or they construct the paramotor. So that's why they are more safer than the one that the one that we built. Engine, the power plant, the trike, that one is okay. You can, I mean, better to have the branded one, but it's okay if with a careful, what they call check, uh, or maybe they they know what they are doing. I mean, or the welding is good, and they're just fine. But if you are suspected something, the material is not right, please don't risk your life.
But do you need to be a lot of engineer by heart to get into a great equipment?
You mean the home build?
Both, even selecting a great brand or make is equally taxing, because you have to do a lot of research before you choose what is right for you.
Okay, to choose whatever is right, this is a really very big is a very, what they call is a very gray area, where, let's say I'm a salesman of X brand. All right, if you ask me, definitely I'll say the X brand is the best. Or maybe I owner of the Y brand, then I will say that Y brand is the best. So what, to me, all the brand is okay, but what suits you, what is your need? Because when you do research, you don't have to do research much. Number one is you have to check what is your capability. Can you fly? For instance, the one that the fresh breeze one, the big one, I can't remember what they call it. If you are not, you don't have the experience to fly a big trike like that. If you buy, oh, you said that is a good trike, so you buy that kind of trike. Does it suit you? That you add danger, you add additional risk to you. You may need a smaller one. So that's why the first is you have to analyze yourself. What do you need? what you explicitly, not like, oh, I just want this because of Nagendra, using this track, I have to follow him. No, but you yourself, what you need, and this is how we choose. So that's why this is important, that to have the branded one, because they have the specification. So you read the specification and it suits your needs.
Okay. And can someone learn if they know paragliding or are into any other aero sports where they know how understand some aspects of flying? Can they learn paramotoring on YouTube?
Okay, like this. There is two issues here. One is a conversion from paragliding to paramotor. Number two is a learning from the YouTube. All right, I'll take the first one first. Okay, converting from paragliding to paramotor is actually totally different. All right, it's a totally different method of flying. You must understand that on paragliding, what is the same? Where is the match point? The match point is only the launch. All right, they are using the same method. Even that is wrong. Sorry, it's not wrong. That means even that is different. I give you one example. When you do paragliding, when you launch on the alpine, okay, the forward launch, you bend your body forward, all right, because we have to counterweight. But if you do the same with paramotor, you will kiss the ground and you will take off easily. All right. So this is one very small issue that during the launch. Okay. Next, for paramotor, we climb using the power. We just increase the power and you climb. But for paragliding, they need a thermal. They need a what they call updraft. All right. So yes, you can convert, no problem, for paragliding to paramotor, but still you need someone to guide you how the difference of handling. All right, because you see, uh, the advantage of paragliding go to paramotor is, all right, when they fly, they are not 100% depending on engine. Number one. Number two, when they goes into thermal, they say, "Oh, I love it." But where other paramotor pilot who actually come to paramotor only, not the paragliding, straight away to paramotor, when they come into thermal, say, "Oh my God, what is this?" They just tend to go out from the thermal. So that is the difference. All right. So that's why we really want to convert from paragliding to paramotor. Still, please get more information, get a proper uh, what they call instructor to tell you how to do the conversion. Even in aviation, now let's say I'm the Cessna 172 pilot, okay, but then after that I want to fly on other aircraft. I need to learn for that particular aircraft. It's different. It's same aeroplane, but you still need a guide. It's some different behavior and so on. So that's why to convert, no problem, but you must get a proper way how to do the conversion and to reduce the risk. Then the next one is actually learning from YouTube. I will say that do that. Don't learn by the YouTube. Okay, now I give you a very simple example. When you want to show something in YouTube, definitely you only shows the best. You don't show when you fall. You don't show when how difficult to do the inflation. You only say, okay, you lay out the canopy, face the wind, and hold your air riser and pull it and so on. That's it. It looks so easy. It looks so simple. All right. Yes, you can fly. But once you fly, does the YouTube teach you about the lift factor? Does YouTube tell you why, tell you that the canopy can stall, for instance? Because I met few guys that learn from YouTube. Then when I ask them, do you know that this canopy can stall? What is stall? They ask me what is stall. So I mean, how can you be, you careful with a stall where you don't even know what is stall? Then another behavior that used to show in the YouTube is when you fly. Okay, when you during the takeoff, normally people tend to pull the brake. All right. Then if you cannot take off, still no lift, what you do? Put more brake. See that? Put more brake. So that is very, very wrong. In actual fact is when you start running, no lift, what you need to do is release your brake. Why? Because we need to gain the speed. When the moment you gain the speed, then you brake back. Okay, so how we can, to prove this is by the lift factor, we can show you how does, the brake affect your takeoff. All right, so that's why I'll say that is just one factor. All right, there's many other factors because in one YouTube only teach you how to fly. Do they teach you about weather? Do they teach you about other things like rules and regulations? So you have to find other places. So that's why it's important for us to learn in a proper maybe 5-6 days of class. Then proper syllabus. You don't miss out something.
Okay. So going by the same discussion which we are having right now, what is
Sure.
the progression journey of a paramotoring pilot from beginner to advanced? With respect to safety, when you begin and when you become advanced, you can touch upon how much time does it take to from beginner to advanced, and also a lot of aspects on safety in paramotoring at beginner level, at moderate level, and at advanced level.
Okay. When we buy the canopy, nowadays we have a lot kind of canopies, right? So number one is you choose the right canopy for the beginner. Get the beginner's canopy. The advanced, go to the advanced. But back to the question, what is the safety level now? As a begin, how fast from the day one of your from your first solo to becomes your advanced pilot? How fast is actually depends on you. All right, how fast you adapt it and how frequent you're flying. So you see, must remember, in paramotor, experience of flying is not calculated by the how many hours you fly. Okay, to me, I don't care much about how many thousands of hours you're flying, but how many sorties you make. Okay, maybe one guy do like 20 hours in the 20 sorties. Every time they fly, 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour. So that means 20 sorties in 20 hours. But another guy, in 1 hour, they make, let's say, about 10 sorties per hour. So that means in 20 hours, they make about 200, about 200 sorties. Yeah. So this guy will be much better. All right. So that's why in paramotoring, uh, the more takeoff and landing you do, the much better you are. All right. So the safety measure now we must understand that for paramotor is a very very huge what they call maneuver. You can do a lot of things. You can do low level, high level, then you do rapid descent, big ear, wing over, or even tumbling if you want to. So that's why it's a very from let's say you are the beginner, all right, and you don't have anybody, you don't do any like low level flying. So don't do low level. Just maintain high level. All right. As long as you maintain that, then we know altitude is our friend. All right. As long as you maintain the high altitude, then you are safe. Now, so then after that, when you know how to really fly straight and level, you understand your canopy, you understand your engine, you understand what descent rate and ascent rate, then you go lower and lower until you do like a foot drag and so on. So how long? Very subjective. Depends how much training you do. But from the beginner and the advanced, definitely some advanced pilot, when they do some maneuver like wing over and all that, so the beginner don't do that. If you want to do, yes, please get a proper learning, fly high and do all the maneuver high first. Okay, let me share you something, Nagendra. In Malaysia, we have one incident where he just asked his friend, "Hey, how you doing over?" Then this friend said, "Okay, I'll do this. Just pull this and hold full power. Then they do the spiral. Then what happened is when he did that, he feel the G force. Because a deep spiral, you feel like a 1.2 G or maybe 2 G. 1.5 G. There's some G force like riding on roller coaster. So when he had this G force, he just like panicking. He just don't know what to do. Then he end up with a few broken bones, and he lucky he survived in that. But do we want to experience that? No. So that's why when if you go to a proper instructor will tell you before you fly, what do you expect? So it's because sometimes we don't know. This is what I tell you in the beginning. We don't know what we don't know. All right, yeah, we just do and very nice ring spiral wing over whatever. But then there is a secondary effect, third effect, and all that. So all this effect you must know before you do something. So that is the difference between the beginner and the advanced pilot. So it's important to know what do you expect. Then do you know what your expectation from any maneuver that you make?
Great. So I'm getting a lot of questions on equipment like engine and other aspects, and I will take them in a while because I think we'll cover a few 2-3 more topics, and then the questions will get also either answered or they'll get enriched. So what do you think about airmanship in paramotoring? And from safety perspective, airmanship.
Airmanship, huh? Yeah. All right. This is a very, very essential. Okay, because you see, this is a recreational sport. I mean, we start with a recreational sport, and we go into a what they call competition sports, and then we go to like a professional. All right. So, as airmanship is a very, very essential. Number one, you have to respect yourself. Number two, you have to respect your equipment. Number three, you have to respect your weather. All right. So with these three, all right, that's why so far there is not much airmanship written, but mainly is on talking. But then if you miss some of it, for instance, I give you a very simple airmanship when we take a flight in a big group, for instance. All right, somebody already lay out the canopy. Then suddenly someone just come in front, lay out the canopy, and because it's very fast, he thought he's expert, very fast, just go in front there, lay out the canopy and take off. Does it a good airmanship? No, because your blast actually will affect the pilot behind. All right, so that is what they call you feel bad, and I mean at the moment you are not focused to the flying, then a lot of things can happen. There is one very simple example, and during the flight as well. If mainly in a big group, all right, mainly in a big group or some maybe one or two pilots. So this airmanship is essential where you have to respect each other. But how about fly alone? What is the airmanship in fly alone? Airmanship in fly alone is you don't create you don't scare people. You don't create a worries to the people. For instance, you fly alone, then you fly the very nice, beautiful beach, then you fly above their head. You fly low in front of them. No, this is a very annoying, because they want to maybe laying down there in peace, whatever. So you come and with your engine, so you are actually disturbing them. So that's why, as I said, there's a three factor. You have to respect yourself, you respect your engine, you respect your environment. I mean, when talking about environment, is a third party, other people. So that's why it's a very essential that we have to always keep our airmanship for the safety of ourselves and safety of other people as well and the property.
Great. So I will take a few questions from fellow pilots here. And Ravi wants to ask you a very, very interesting question. Ravi, would you like to ask yourself, please?
Hey, hi, Nagendra. Thanks for asking. So yeah, Hussin. So see, my question is very specific. See, you consider my weight is 75 kilo.
Right.
Okay. And I'm a very beginner pilot.
Right.
Just I'm converting myself into PG to PPG. Okay.
Okay.
PG to paramotor.
Yeah.
So how do you calculate my weight and select a wing to fly? Now let me give you 3 scenario. Okay.
All right.
One is nil wind condition. The second is 5 to 10 knots, or you can say 5 to 10 kilometer per hour. And
Okay.
the next scenario may be 15 to 20 kilometer per hour. So what
Okay.
I'm trying to say is initially couple of flights, maybe 50 hours or something, or maybe 50 flights I can do nil wind. After that, 100 flyings I can do in little bit wind, medium wind, and then in little bit like, you can say higher wind or strong wind.
Okay.
So how do you calculate my weight? And suggest me a wing. I'm asking the weight category. I'm not asking any kind of like, particular company like maybe ITV, Ozone, BGD and all.
Right.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Yes, thank you very much, Ravi. That is a very, very good question. This is back to what I've covered before. When you are selecting the wing, all right, selecting the glider is regardless of the wind condition. Okay, now let me tell you the difference. When you are in paragliding, okay, you must have a very good wind for you to launch. If you launch in a zero wind, that means you are maybe end up on the trees, whatever, unless you have the cliff in front of you. But if a bit shallow, then you'll be end up on the tree. Now, in terms of paramotor, today's glider, you can fly from zero wind to 12 knot wind. All right. So as you said just now, regardless any brand, you can just check. But the today's glider, you can just take off at zero wind, or launch the zero wind or 12 knot wind. Now, back to your weight. To select your glider is actually regardless the wind condition. All right. The most important is you check the specification. They have like PG weight range, PPG weight range. All right. So you have to see like now, when you are paragliding, when you choose your glider, let's say you're 75, you will choose like maybe like 60 to 90, for instance. All right, because only your weight. But for paramotor, you have to consider the engine weight. That means when you choose you are 75, then add another maybe 20 kilo for your engine. That means 75 will be 95. So when you choose the glider, it should be within the 95 kilo category. And as long you have within your glider within that weight range, then you are safe. Let me tell you.
Okay, see, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
no problem.
let me give you the scenario.
Sure.
I'm 75 kilo.
Yeah.
And I'm riding a Monster 185 Rider Fly product, machine, which is 25 kilo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So 75 plus 25, it is 100 kilo. Okay.
Right. Correct.
Another 5 kg I'm adding for the fuel. Okay.
Yes.
So my in-flight weight, including the wing weight, is approximately 110 kg.
Yes.
So what do you suggest? Shall I ride a wing which is 110 kilo, or little bit higher or little bit lower? Or what do you suggest?
Okay, like this. Let's say now we're talking about 110. Now we say a range of or 24 meter square canopy. All right. For 24 meter square canopy, normally the range is around 80 to 100, 80 to 120. Okay, that's about 24 meter square or 26 meter square. This is, I just give approximate, yeah, because different glider, they have a different weight range. And another one is 26 meter square, maybe it's around like 90 to 150 kilo. Okay, now your weight category 110 is fall into these two glider. All right, you get me? Okay, that means 110 kilo, 24 meter square is a 10 to 120. Okay, that means 110 is on the higher part of the range. Then the other one, 26 meters square, is a 90 to 150. That means 110 is actually on the lower part, right? Now, when you choose the glider, you can use both 24 or 26. There is no issue because you are still within the weight range. But there is a next issue that you have to consider is when you are on the 24 meter square, that means you will be flying even faster compared to flying on the 26 meter square because of your weight. Because more weight, because of the size of the canopy. All right. So the same weight but bigger wing, then the flying will be a bit slower. All right. So how then we go to the lift factor? So I can show you in the lift factor what is makes the velocity reduce when the surface area is big.
So let us assume, let us assume you are saying that if I fly 26 meter canopy, okay, the glider, so it is good for nil wind. And if I fly 24, if it is a strong wind or something like 5 to 10 or 5 to 15, kilometer per hour, it is good wind.
Yeah, actually, as long you're flying with, okay, the canopy have the same limit. Okay, the maximum is normally we take it as a 12 knots or it's a what 6 meter per second. All right, it's 12 knots. So as long you're flying less than 12 knots, that is very safe. But and when we talk about zero wind, if either 24 or 26, no problem. Actually, as I said, now the glider is you can fly both. Is in zero wind condition. A lot of gliders they can just launch. It's either 24 meter square or 26 meter square it's no issue. The most important in glider is not the wind condition, but the most important is actually the weight range. Okay, now let me tell you why. Why you have for the weight range is because every glider they have a pressure in the canopy, right? So let's say you fly like 30 meter square, 32 meter square, the tandem one. The minimum weight is actually 150 kilo, where you are actually flying, you only have 110. So you don't have enough pressure in the canopy. You still can launch, you still can fly, but you don't have enough pressure, and as a result, the canopy can easily collapse. So that's why it's important in terms of when you choose the glider, is the weight, not the wind.
So
no, what you suggest, Nagendra, 1 minute. I mean the last one.
Sure.
See what you suggested. If I say I am 75 kilo, machine is 25 kilo, 10 is extra weight in terms of fuel, in terms of wing or whatever maybe. So if I have 110 kg, shall I consider that adding 20% buffer can help me in nil wind condition as well as in medium wind condition?
No.
So shall I go for 26 meter always?
Okay, like this. When you have 26 or 24 meter square with your weight, on the zero wind condition, regardless any wing, even 18 meter square wing also can launch in zero wind condition. If you have a very lightweight machine or lightweight pilot and machine, so if 18 meter square is within the range, also can launch easily. So to make easy launching means easy launching is not because of the weight, but that is the scale of the inflation. Because we must understand that when you choose the canopy, all right, when you choose the canopy already have that range, all right. So regardless of wind condition. So okay, now if we talk about 10 years or 15 years back, all right, when we talk about fast canopy, you cannot launch in zero wind. Definitely cannot launch. You just cannot take off. Then zero wind, we have to use another slow canopy. So that's why those days when I start flying paramotor, I used to have two canopy. When especially when you go for show, we have two canopies. One is the fast one, one is slow one. If the slow, we use the slow canopy. So no wind, so the slow canopy can launch. And if too strong wind, I use the slow one and it will collapse. So, but today that is all history because the range is big. So like your weight 75 kilo, as long 24 meters square within your range, that means on the high end 110 and 120. If you go for the competition, that is the best because that is the fastest wind that you can fly with your weight.
Ravi, also, I would
think,
like to add,
yeah.
yeah, Ravi, I would like to add that in paramotoring, you use trims, okay? Which typically in paragliding, people are not using.
Nagendra, I know the trims and all, and currently I'm using with the product Monster 185. I'm using ITV medium
Yeah.
size. That is
Okay.
that is 140 kilo max, starting
Yes,
from
yeah.
85 to 140.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Great, perfect.
That's
So
very good for you.
yeah.
Perfect. That's
Okay.
a good
Thank you.
glider. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your
Thank you
question.
so much. Yeah, please.
Can I-
Maybe I want to add something.
Yes.
You fly the trike, right?
I fly trike also, backpack
Right.
also.
Okay, now
But maximum time I prefer backpack.
that's good. It's either backpack or trike. You go back to basic. What is the basic is do more kiting. The more kiting you do, the better you are. So because let's say in the zero wind, you just take your training harness, zero wind, you try to do your perfectly your what they call your launch. You know, so the canopy inflation. So the more kiting you do, the more inflation you do, the more better you are. All right. To me, the one that you have, your engine with that ITV size, there's an M size, doesn't it? It's a maximum of 140, where you are actually 110. Is perfect for you, and it's very nice, and you can fly fast as well. If you get a bigger canopy, then you were climbing instead of going faster.
Thank you so much. It answered my question. Thank you, Nagendra.
Thank you, Ravi. Thank you.
I got it. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Yeah.
I will take one more question right now, and I will touch upon other topics and get back to another question. Zamri is on the second question. Can you ask your question, please, Zamri? Are you there?
Hello, Mr. Hello, yeah, yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to have two questions here. The first is how do you select the horsepower of the engine or the call it the CC, and the second one is the size of propeller. The weight is quite okay for me, but on the engine, how you select the horsepower and the size of propeller? Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Yeah, Prof. Zamri, how are you? Okay.
Good, thank you.
Now, how to select? That means I would say that how to select the engine. All right. Now, number one is you must know what is the purpose. Okay, the purpose of what we're going to use it. Now, it's either you use for the trike or you use for foot launch. That's number one. Number two, are you going to fly solo or are you going to fly what they call solo or tandem? Right? Okay. So with all this consideration, then you go to the engine. How to select the horsepower? When we talk about branded, I would say maybe a branded or the ready-made, the mass production equipment, they already come out with how many kilo of thrust that the machine can produce. All right. So this is important. So if you fly solo foot launch with 40 kilo thrust is already enough. You don't have to use like 200 cc, 280 cc, those are big engine for you to fly solo. Nagendra, are we?
Yeah. Okay. Does that
Yeah.
answer your
Okay.
question?
No, because the screen is just goes off just now. Sorry.
Yeah,
So
we are
that's
here.
why it's important that when we want to select the engine, we don't initially we don't select how many cc. You're correct. Don't select how many cc, but you have to select how much thrust that the engine can produce. That means the size of the propeller, the size of the engine, and with all that combination, and how much thrust that we need. So I will say that when you select engine, select how many kilo can produce by the engine. That's the most important.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to other question a little later. We have a couple of other safety topics to cover, and then we'll go back
Sure.
to. I have the queue on my chat, and we'll go back to
Sure.
rest of the question. Please have some. Please bear with us. Yeah. So now I want to ask you, Rohaizi, that do people do SIV training in paramotor backpack? Is it possible to do SIV with a trike? Or if it is, then where do we do this? Then people were very keen on last session also to ask about SIV in paramotoring.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a very, very good question. And I just covered this topic last week about SIV. Now, why we need SIV? Okay, because in our life, when we fly paramotor, okay, we at least one time, we must throw out our reserve. Okay, we have to experience to throw our reserve. Now, many things can happen because we need to collapse. Because we in SIV course, we will experience the canopy collapse 100%. All right, the canopy is a whole break and we collapse everything. Then when you are on the free fall, you'll just throw your reserve off. And maybe there is just only one time in your life. Okay, just once in your lifetime, throw your reserve and you land safely with that. Okay, now normally when we do the SIV course, we don't use our engine, we don't use our trike whatsoever. Okay, when we do SIV, we will do with like a paragliding. Is we are towing, it goes up, all right, then stall your canopy and throw. And normally this SIV course will do above water. Of course, when we fly above water, we have the safety rescue, we have what they call floating devices on you. All right. So because this is maybe the canopy, the reserve or deploy late and all that. But it deploy maybe it late. So still you are landed on the water. All right. You dish on water, and that is a safety feature. Now, so you must understand the SIV course you take is because you need the experience of throwing your reserve. Okay, that is basic. So regardless, you fly trike or you fly foot launch, whatever. So you are using, you have to experience throwing the reserve. I give you this scenario. When you throw your reserve, you fly above water. All right, then you dish in the water, and what happened to your engine? Why you want to raise your engine? So don't do that. All right. So normally SIV we just fly just like a paragliding. We just throw. And somebody asked me, does it important? I say,
How do we factor in the weight if you were flying backpack? Because when we do SIV in paramotoring, paragliding, you have a different weight and different behavior. But if you have so much of extra weight on your back of engine in real time, then how does it compromise safety not doing with that kind of weight SIV, not doing with maybe dummy engine or something like that? You still tow.
Yeah. You see, when we flying is all about weight. All right. So even when you check into the aeroplane, right? Especially on what they call for a normal seat like a first class, second class is okay. But then if you go on a budget flight, even your backpack, your hand carry, they have to have a weight limit. No, it's not that they are very stingy or but they want to know how much weight that they carry in the plane. That's a big aeroplane though.
Yeah.
But for us, it's actually the same. No, we must know what is the maximum weight. What in the terms is actually is MTOW, maximum takeoff weight. All right. So this is important. So every time when you have a flight, okay, you must know what is your weight all the time. So let's say, or you want to do like a cross country, you have like 20 gallon of fuel, you know. So it's so heavy, but your glider cannot take it. So that's a very dangerous. All right, and the same thing goes to your what they call the reserve. Reserve also same thing. Reserve is also they have the weight range. All right. So when you choose your reserve, okay, maybe I can put it this way. Some guy from paragliding, they used to have what they call the reserve chute, and when they come to paramoto, they want to use the same reserve. All right. The question is, can or not? To me, you have to check the reserve that you have. What is the weight range? Again, we go back to the weight range. All right. So if your glider, if your reserve is too small with all the equipment, with all the trikes and all that, your reserve is just useless. So it's better that don't bring the reserve, that add a weight to your flight, rather than you bring a reserve, but it's very small where it doesn't save your life.
Okay.
So please check the specification and you fly with whatever range the specification given.
So thank you. I'll take a few more questions. Next one is from Sunil. Sunil, can you ask your question, please?
Yeah, thank you, Nagendra sir.
Hi, Sunil.
Hello, Mr. Rohaizi.
Hi,
Very
Sunil.
happy to have you
Yeah.
here on this platform.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
My
I'm from
pleasure.
South India actually, from
Oh,
back from Kerala.
right.
Yeah. So my question might defy what we just discussed around a few minutes back here regarding the weight range. I
Yeah.
normally used to regularly fly a 24-meter wing, sometimes 26-meter wing, and mostly a tandem wing as well, foot launched.
Okay.
But
Right.
recently I got a chance to fly a wing of my friend, which is 23, then another wing, which is 21. Okay. So, so
That's
the
awesome.
effect,
You are getting-
what I got when I was, yeah, I think you can hear me clearly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was so exhilarated by the maneuvering and the feel and the turning capacity and the briskness of the wing. And I'm totally into it now. And I'm looking for it. Now I know many people are flying even 18, 16, even 13 for record something. So what I'm thinking, and I really look forward to it. But so just few minutes back, we were discussing the weight range and the weight of the pilot and the machine as well. But this defy everything because 21, 18, and when goes and our machines and pilots' weight remain the same, and we are going in the smaller wing. So in terms of integrity of the glider, when we do those things in such small glider, and how safe it is, and what's your advice on that, sir?
Okay. Thank you very much. Very good question. Number one is you fly a smaller glider for what purpose? Okay. Does it for recreational or for competition? Maybe you can tell me. Do you plan to go for competition?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I fly it for not for competition. That is just for the pure fun of the maneuvering and the feel of it. You know, I can do this thing, all the swift maneuvers, do foot drags, everything. That's beautiful. I love it. That's why.
Exactly.
And I want to fly it regular. Yeah.
All right. Understand. Now, you see, when you fly a smaller canopy, yes, you are actually there is a more maneuver. There is a lot of other maneuver that you doesn't expect, and it's happen. All right. So it's very
Yes.
easy. You can just get here and there easily. You know, you can just make a wing over very easy. Now, the question is how safe? As long you understand the glider and it's safe. All right. So that's why this is a very important. When Nagarendra asked me in the beginning, between the beginner and the advanced pilot. Now, if you know, that means your limit is already increasing. That means when you are flying like 24 meters square, 26 meters square wing, you are flying very calm, relaxed. All right, you can enjoy, get a Coke and all that during flying,
Yeah.
but not the smaller one. All right, so because that is why when we talk about safe, as long you capable, you know the glider, and you're capable, you have capacity to maneuver or to handle the the glider well, then it's okay. You can fly with that, no problem. And especially when you want to go for competition. If you want to go competition, you need a smaller glider. But we
For the
are bind
slaloms.
into yes, we are bind into what they call we are bind into the range of the specification. As long you are within that spec. I give you, for instance, it's not promoting brands, but for instance, a snake, right? A 16 meter square, 16 meter square snake, even 85 kilo pilot with 25 kilo engine also can fly.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense, right?
So
But then, because the range is big, right? But then, then the maneuver is different. So that's why only the expert will fly that.
Understood, sir. My question is then what I understood is you said if they'll be fine if the pilot can handle the hotness of the wing and the concentration level is really high. But my question was, it is so small wing, and is it technically it should be safe, right? Because they must be using that kind of lines and the cloth and stitching.
Yeah, as long within the range, all right. You have to check the glider, all right. As long your weight, your body and the machine weight add together, and plus fuel and other equipment, the maximum takeoff weight (MTOW). Remember that.
Yes,
that
yes.
Your MTOW must be
that is what I
within
said,
that range. As long, yeah.
Okay, okay. That is what I have doubt. I say it might defy what we have discussed, because when we are going 18-16 meters, for example, I'm an 85 kg pilot. I'm using a Master 185. That comes around 26 and plus fuel. So how it is different from what our regular parameter. This that is around 110 kg, which I am flying on 18 meters. Normally, we used to fly 24 meters or 23 meters on the regular parameter. So how does this parameter, when this parameter change, and how safe it is technically in terms of the material and the engineering of the wing?
Okay, all gliders in the market is actually all being tested. Okay, all is tested. And even like 24 meters square, you see the range is let's say for 24 meters square, is about range about 110 kilo, for instance, max. Okay, but it was tested for 250 kilo. You can just check the specification. All right. So when they design a smaller canopy, they are also do the same. Let's say they said maximum 100 kilo. They actually tested double of that weight. But don't try to, let's say the maximum is what the maximum is say 100 kilo, and you are flying like 120 kilo. So don't do that. As long you go out of that range, then you are danger yourself.
Understood.
When you out, it can be out bigger or you can be out smaller. My experience is actually I fly bigger canopy and it still collapse both sides. Or if you fly lower, also same thing, because you give too much pressure to the canopy. But then if you are talking about competition, then the different issue. Then we have to do some on the competition.
Understood, sir. And one more few very small question.
Sure.
And it's regarding reflex wing. Okay, we know when we fly reflex wing, when we trim it out in reflex mode, the whole weight and the weight bearing will go to the A and B, and rear part of the wing will change the shape into a elevator mode, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and from what we understand is the reflex wing is designed to crunch miles and cover more distance for cross countries.
You're breaking off. You're breaking off. Again, design for?
Yes, sir. Yeah. yeah, so reflex wing is designed for mainly for cross countries to cover a distance, large distance in short time. Right?
No.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes. But that is not what reflex wing. I will tell you.
Yeah. That is a reflex wing. So that is what the reflex wing is designed for. So my question is, so it is mainly for a straight line flight to cover large distances. So when we are flying like that, and when we see a place somewhere, and below our friends are there. So is it okay that we are entering into a wing over or into a deep 360 or spiral without getting back from the reflex mode or trimming in? Is my question clear, sir?
Yes. All right. No, okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Right.
Okay.
Please
right.
go.
No. All right, like this. Number one is reflect wing. It's not designed for cross country. Right? You don't like to fly reflect wing. I mean, it's not designed for cross country. It's designed for a faster, what they call a faster speed. It's on a high speed. All right. Now.
Okay.
Let me tell you this. When you fly on the reflect, okay, on the trailing edge is already it goes up. All right, it goes up like an elevator, and the center of force, okay, it will go forward. All right.
Yes.
So now just half part of the glider will be effective. All right. So when we talk about lift factor, okay, lift factor is a lift equal to coefficient of lift half rho v square s. That means s at the surface area. So effective surface area is smaller, so that it makes the velocity increase. Now, okay. The question is, can you do like spiral down and all that? Yes, you can, but careful. When you on the reflect, number one, you cannot use your what they call speed bar and turn at the same time. Okay. I don't know if you are in the group, Happy Landing groups, the WhatsApp group. I saw there's a video being sent either today or yesterday. They compared the reflect wing when the other way we call it dominant wing or something. All right.
Dominator.
One of
yes.
dominator wing. So when one of the video that it shows is actually in Egypt where you fly at the pylon and this guy fish. Then he told in that video says that, oh, see how bad is the wing. Now, what happened? Actually, I was there. Because when I saw that video, I know because I saw that incident. But so what is actually happened is like this: when you are on reflect, okay, this guy, this pilot, when he make a turn, he should release the speed bar. All right. So this is all scale. All right. That one is competition and it's a scale flying. You have to release the speed bar, then you have to pull your wingtip to make a turn.
Yeah.
So once you complete the turn, you release, then you put back the speed bar. So what happened there is actually the speed bar and the wingtip pull together. That's what you call it. Now. Reflect wing, when half of the canopy effective is just go to the front, then becomes very rigid. You know, the canopy becomes very rigid, it becomes very hard. So
understood.
I would say that it's a very difficult to collapse. Okay, but I didn't say it cannot collapse. Yeah, I say it's a difficult to collapse because it's too hard, too rigid. But if it is collapsed and it's difficult to recover. Okay, it's something that difficult to collapse and it's difficult to recover.
Very true.
I didn't say cannot recover. It will recover, like the one that it shows in the video is about 12 seconds, right? So yes, that's true. So that's why when you fly on the full reflect, full speed bar, you must be competent enough. You know what happened is actually with your glider.
Yes.
Yeah, only expert do that. Yeah, you need a lot of training.
Perfect.
Very true. Very true. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sunil. Okay, so
thank you, sir.
we have 4 questions lined up, but also one more very important topic to cover. So I will take 2 questions now. First one will be from Vijay. Vijay, can you ask your question, please?
Hi, Hussein. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me, Hussein?
Yes. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, I'm flying paramotor since 97-98 in India.
All right.
But I choose to continue with the paragliding.
All right.
So I have the basic questions like what is the training process you follow for the paramotoring pilot? And how important for student to complete the paragliding basic course before joining the paramotoring course?
Okay, I didn't get the first question.
What is the training process for the paramotoring pilots?
Okay. Right. Thank you very much, sir. Now, when we want to do this paramotor, you don't have to do a paragliding basic training, right? Because paragliding and paramotor is a 2 different sport. It looks the same. The canopy, the design of the canopy, the way it launched is looks the same, but the behavior is different. All right. That means you don't have to do like a basic paragliding first, then you do a paramotor. What you need to do is actually you learn straight away on a paramotor, and you learn how to launch and you learn how to fly. All right. So the process. Okay. Let me show you this. Okay. This is part of the syllabus of the paramotor that normally you have to follow. Then you within, let's say, like by 5 or 6 days, you have to cover like company canopy appreciation, ground handling, then motor handling, theory of flight, metrology, ILOS, and so on and so forth. So that is the process. Okay, that is the process to be a good pilot. That means you know the regulation, you know the behavior of the machine, and you know you have the scale of launching. So why before this a lot of people say that okay, you have to do paragliding first, because in their mind is the paragliding, the way it launched is looks the same. But when you fly paragliding, right? So when you fly, I fly paragliding as well. When we do the launch, especially on the reverse inflation, normally we just like lay back, right? Lay back and get the canopy right, then bang forward. We bend forward because we want to have the weight. Okay, then only we launch. So if you do that in paramotor, you might fall anytime. All right. So that's why you don't. To me, if you decided on paramotor, go straight to paramotor course, not the paragliding basic course. That's the first question. And the second question, the process, you have the proper syllabus. It should be covers from the canopy inflation. Then it goes like canopy inflation without motor, canopy inflation with motor without power, then with power no takeoff, then takeoff. And all this is with the instructor assistance. So that's the process. And here in Malaysia, we do something like 4 days before they do a first solo. So then normally about 5 to 6 days course, and they should be able to do like 2 or 3 sorties offline. Is it a question, sir?
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Vijay. I hope that answered your query. Can we take a question from Rajesh, please?
Nagendra, I mean Ravi here.
Yeah, Ravi.
So before you take next question, let me tell you. See, what Hussain is saying is, in PG, what we do is we lean forward, leave ourselves to the to the elevated height or something, and with the lift which you get from the front. Okay,
yes,
and
yes.
you get a takeoff.
Yes.
In paramotor, what happens is like you start with the leaning forward, pick up your wing, take off, and then lean back.
Yes.
Let paramotor thrust lift you.
Yes.
Not the front one. Okay. Yes. So when you lean back, make sure that you are not going to sit into the harness, whereas paramotor is going to lift you with its thrust and with its power.
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay.
that's the difference.
Thank you. Thanks for that input. Thank you.
Yeah, that is correct. But just a little a small part is that is a very right, very good. But the lifting, not the thrust. The thrust is actually to push you forward. Okay, the one that lift you is actually the wing. All right, the wing have the lift, so the motor will help you. Only helps you to move forward, to have the forward speed easy, and by lean back, and the canopy will lift you off. But you are right. That is the biggest difference between the paramotor and paragliding. You lean forward until you take off. Yes.
Yeah.
If you fall short of ground,
Perfect.
just apply little brake, and then probably it can help you, increasing angle of attack, and it can help you to lift. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that's right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Rajesh, can we have your question, please? Are you there? Okay, so if he has logged out, because I see two people have.
Please unmute yourself.
Is Rajesh there? No, I don't see him online. So we move on to Nitin's question, please. Nitin, are you there, please? Nitin, you can ask your question.
Hi.
Hi.
Good evening, sir.
Good
Yes,
evening.
सर मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है
Okay.
ये एक तो ये है कि बेस्ट पैरामोटर पैराग्लाइडर और पैरामोटर इंजन फॉर PL2 category for competition, and second question is what is the level of paramotor sports compared to other sports?
Okay. Rohaizi, I'll translate that for you.
Yes.
What Nitin,
Okay.
yeah, what Nitin is asking is that for competition for PL2 category, what engine is the best engine to choose? And his second question is,
What
Nitin, can you
is the
repeat?
level of paramotor sports compared to other sports like cricket, hockey, and others?
Where, in India or
All world.
all world? Okay. Okay, great. So second part of the question is that how do you see paramotor as a sport in comparison to soccer or cricket or any other sports?
Right. Okay. First question for PL2, what kind of engine? If we talk about competition, all right.
Yes, sir.
Now, this is we have two things here. All right. When we talk about ordinary competition like WPC, all right, is actually you are actually in the group, all right, the group of 5 people, all right. Then when you want to choose the engine, you must consider few things: how economic is the engine, how powerful is the engine, and how maneuverable is the engine. Okay. Now, to me, if let's say in your team, you have someone with a smaller engine, like maybe the one like like 80cc, then you can have for PL2, maybe you can have the bigger engine like Polini 250, for instance, where you have a very good power. But with that bigger engine, you actually consume more fuel. So if on the economic tasking, it's very difficult for you to score. All right, but you can score in the precision. So this is when you want to choose your engine, what engine you want to use for PL2 is whether what is your focus? Are you focused on precision? If you focus on precision, then get a bigger engine, get more powerful engine. So because you see in precision, you need to like short takeoff, and you have to do short landing, sharp turn. Okay, so this is the engine. I mean, get the bigger engine. But if you are focused like economic things like cross like navigation and economic tasking, then even the small engine you can use for PL2. I've seen people use only like 100cc engine for PL2 because their focus is actually on the what they call on the cross country, on the navigation, and their focus on the economic tasking. So that's why when you want to choose the engine, you have to set yourself which category are you in. All right, so get the bigger engine if you want to have faster. All right, does it answer to your question, Rajesh?
Yes, Nitin.
Yes, sir.
And second part of the question was that how popular is paramotoring worldwide as compared to other popular sports, FIFA, cricket?
Yeah, actually, I wish that sport aviation can be as popular as football. Okay, but the matter of fact, we don't have that. No, because even in SEMA, we do a lot of things. All right, then even in FAI, we have like World Air Game (WAG). Okay, the last one was in Dubai. Was in Dubai. Then after that, it's Turkey. But the we always have the difficulty to get a sponsor. All right, because it's not as popular as like cricket in India, like football all over the world. You know, sport aviation is actually where we are at, when you are talking about, okay, you are representing the country for sport aviation. There a lot of people will look very very high on you. All right, that is very sure because you are used something flying to compete. But we talk about popularity, no, we are not as popular as other sport like cricket and all that.
And from my experience in competition, it is a good thing because it's pure competition. It is not a spectator sport. So you're not doing tricks. There are no match fixing. There is pure sport.
Yeah.
Sir,
No show off.
paraglider also, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
best paraglider for TL2 category also, ना? ये इंजन पे.
हाँ, उन्होंने बताया ना इंजन.
इंजन तो बताया, but paraglider.
चलने बाद में पूछ लेना.
ठीक है. So Nitin,
Good
we
evening,
will
sir.
take that question if
Okay,
you
sir.
don't mind. Yeah, I will just take
Okay,
two more questions. Yeah.
Okay.
We will
Okay,
ask.
Thank
Nitin
you, sir.
also has a question about choosing the right glider for PL2, but we'll take it a little later if he's okay with that for now. There are two questions which came on YouTube, and Nitin, I'm only making room for YouTube question. Yeah, because this person is seeing it live there and not here. So we would take those two questions for now. One question, this is from Mridula. And the first question is, should the payload be in the middle range of the glider you choose in the weight range category? Second is, in basic training, do you also give practice for how to fly in case of engine failure during the flight?
All right. Thank you very much. Very good. Because you see, when we choose glider, then this is a very big issue. A lot of people make some mistake on this. Excuse me. Now, when you choose your glider, always number one, check the range. Okay. Then yes, the payload is actually the one that's subjective. Then the range is specific. Now, where if let's say just now someone that asked about getting a higher speed, if you want to have higher speed, all right, then you go towards the end. Let's say the range maximum is 110, so and your weight is your takeoff weight is 110. You get something like 24 meters square. We have the range of 120 max. Okay, that means on the end of the range. But if you want to fly easy, relax, not much of speed, then you go on the lower. Let's say with the 110 kilo, 110 kilo takeoff weight, the payload, you take something like 28 meters square, where the minimum weight is actually 100 kilo. All right. So, but then it's easy for you to launch because of the wings. The surface area is big, but you will fly very slow. So again, it's your choice. All right, the payload is a fixed or maybe we have the range, but you want to fly fast, you go towards the end, or you want to fly slow, you towards the beginning of the weight range. And number two is what's it? The basic.
In the flight training, do we train in the beginner training? Do we train the pilot to be able to land safely or fly in case of engine failure?
Okay. Yes, definitely. It's not just that. When during the basic training, it's not like it's not just engine failure, but we also train on the radio failure. Right. So when because this is important, you know, we are actually flying a two-stroke engine. Two-stroke engine tends to just just can cut off anytime. You know, it's regardless whether you old engine or new engine. You know, it's a two-stroke engine. And also same thing goes to radio. All right. So if a radio failure, sometimes the student goes up with the guidance of the instructor, and then suddenly the radio failed. Then what the student wants to do? All right. So with the base in the basic training, we train how does when the engine fail. Okay, how does it? How do we do this? We will fly something like 1,000 feet, then off the engine. Okay, that's the engine failure. Off the engine, and we will guide them how to land back to the takeoff area. That's number one. Okay, then number two, for this radio failure, same thing. We will show a sign because we already designed a sign that very basic that can guide the glider. Goes if in case of radio failure, they can just come and land safely. So that's why it's a very important. Thank you for this is a very good question, Nagendra. Because why? This is doesn't teach in YouTube. Okay, then suddenly your engine got off. What to do? Nobody wants to tell you. So that's why it's a very important. In the basic training, yes, we must do the what they call emergency landing procedure. All right, because this is a very essential, and everybody must know this in paramotoring.
And such situations happen not just because of engine shutdown, but your propeller might break or many other things happen, and you should be able to safe land. Okay, so I'll take, thank you so much. I'll take next question from Lakshman. Lakshman, if you are online, can you ask your question?
Hi, Hussein. I am Lakshman. I am still flying in solo. I am interested to fly the cross country in paramotor. I want to know about paramotor. How much you in cross country in paramotor? How much your weight and thrust required? Minimum thrust required to fly in paramotor. That is first question. Second question is a lot of people are flying that uncertified wing, just like a solo wing, and they are converting to that change the riser and fly that wing. How safer that wing, or is not safe that wing?
All right. I think you don't mind. I answer the second one first because the second one that is a very straightforward and important. All right. Uncertified, not safe. Very basic. All right. As long you do some modification without the consent of the manufacturer, then it's a very dangerous. It's just a part, to me, just a part of initial commit suicide. So don't do that. All right. If you want to change the riser, because yes, some manufacturer, if you want to fly the paraglider to paramotor, you need to change the riser. If the manufacturer say, okay, you change this riser, this specification, yes, it's very safe. But if you do your own modification, no. All right. I think that's a very specific, and I answered that question. Now, cross country. This is what I really love it. All right. When we do cross country, you must know the most important is what is your fuel consumption. All right. Number one. And number two is what is your speed. All right. Don't have any datum for us to determine whether you you have to have some this much of thrust to do cross country. You must have this power to do your cross country. No, But the most important is you must know your endurance, you must know your speed. And with all this information, then you plan your cross country, how far you want to go, how fast you can go, and what is your when is your destination for the reviewing. All right. So with the speed and also with the all this detail that I mentioned before is actually will help you to do your cross country. But there is no limitation in terms of weight. If your weight is if you're heavy, smaller engine, maybe like a bigger wing, then you won't fly far. You fly a bit, a bit near, and you'll finish your fuel, and you need to refuel and go again. All right, just that. Okay, so as long the most important cross country is a flight plan. You have to learn the flight plan, and you have to learn your navigation, and you are ready for the cross country. And I would like to join for cross country. I love it.
Yeah, I fly cross country in solo. I recently I fly 30 kilometers, 30 to 35 kilometers.
Yeah.
But main
Yeah.
concern is that we have to get a height, certain height. In mountain, you can get a height easily because you are only 3,000 feet. You have takeoff in solo. But in paramotor, what happened? Yeah, I am a 90 kg weight. I have to climb to 3,000 feet to get a thermal, best thermal, to get a height. So maybe I want to that thrust, either less thrust is 40 kg thrust is okay for me, or I want more thrust to take a height to that certain level.
Okay, now if you want to gain height faster, all right, then you need more powerful engine. Okay, the glider is the same. Glider back to the weight range. As long as you within the weight range, that is okay. But if you have better power of engine, and you will climb faster. Because I understand, at certain area, you need to climb. You need to climb very very high to cross something. But in Paramoto, we don't really catch thermal whatsoever. And let me tell you, in my experience, at one time, my engine got some problem, but I went there for show. So what happened is with my full throttle, I just cannot climb. So what I'll do is I just launch for a while, then I go to the hill, I find some like updraft and go to a bit of thermal area with the same amount of throttle that I put, that I managed to climb higher and higher. All right. So what I'll say is like this. For paramoto, you don't need to go thermal and all that, as long as you have enough power. But if you need to climb because of the hill, because of some obstacle in front of you, all right, then you need more powerful engine for you to climb faster.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. And we move on to the last question from attending pilots. And that one is from Zambri. And I know, Rohaizi, you are looking like it is 8 a.m., but it is almost close to 1 in the night.
Yeah.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, just very well. Yeah, it's okay.
So we'll take the last question from Zambri. Are you there?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Nagendra. Mr. Rohaizi, 3 short questions. Okay. The first one is, do you recommend to fly with reserve chute? Number 2 is, for the beginner, never fly before, do you recommend to fly tandem first or just go straight away solo? So the third one is, maybe you can share the possible condition for the glider to collapse. Okay, that's all from me.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Prof. Zambri. Okay. Question number 1, reserve. For paramoto, okay, let me tell you the essential of flying is competition. Okay. In SEMA, one time we make a reserve as a compulsory. Okay. But the behavior of flying paramoto is actually we sometimes fly very low and sometimes we fly very high. So this is the privilege that we have in paramotoring. So if you plan for a low level flying, so a reserve parachute is only adding weight to you, just that. And it won't help you if anything goes wrong. All right. So that's why, again, I repeat, in flying paramotor or in sport aviation, altitude is our friend. All right. So back to the SEMA just now. Because of this reason, we don't put as a reserve parachute as a compulsory in paramotoring. So my answer is reserve is only compulsory when you plan for high altitude flying. Then you are advisable to use the reserve. All right. Otherwise, if you plan to only fly low level, I say that reserve will help you. So when you want to fly low level, you be more caution and you must ensure that nothing's collapsed. Because engine failure, no problem. Because engine failure, we don't deploy our reserve. Only we apply our reserve when we have the 100% collapse. Then only we use the reserve. All right. So whether paramotor compulsory or not, no. Reserve in paramotor is not compulsory, as reflect to what decided in SEMA plenary meeting. We are decided that reserve is an option. Okay. Number two is for the beginner, whether fly tandem or solo. If you have the privilege to fly tandem first, yes, it's good. Because the only reason when you fly tandem, you just know to measure whether you have the height phobia or not. Nothing else, just that. Because you won't learn much in tandem. All right. So it's just like, yeah, you just like it. It's not a compulsory at all. Because the most important is before you do your first solo, the instructor must know that or must have a full satisfaction that you are ready for your first solo. That means all the necessary what you should know during your flight is already been delivered to you. At the moment you're ready, you can just go fly solo safely, even without having experience of tandem before. All right. So the answer is no. Tandem is not compulsory, but it's only a privilege if you want to do. But I have the experience where some guys they came over want to tell me, okay, Rohaizi, I want to take up this course. Okay, very fine. Can I go tandem? Yeah, no problem. It happened that day I bring my tandem machine. So I took him for flying, take off, landing. Then after that, they give it and shake my hand and go because no, this is not my spot. It's something like that. So to me, why this guy go? Because he don't understand what is a flying all about. Because he got no knowledge at all how safe is paramotoring. All right, so that's it. Then glider collapse. Glider collapse is for few reasons. Okay, the most common reason is actually you are flying not within the range. All right, just like what I mentioned earlier of this session, where I fly with my weight, I fly a L size wing, and I have both side collapse. All right, and I'm lucky it will recover before I reach the ground. Now, for why glider collapse is because you don't have enough pressure in the glider. That's number one. Number two, why glider collapse? Because you don't have enough velocity to maintain the pressure in the glider. All right. So because of this is due to like you're braking too much, then the velocity of the glider is reducing, then the canopy is stalled. So that is makes the canopy collapse. And the third one is because of weather. All right. So you know that the area we have like a roto, a turbulence, or the artificial turbulence, like what we call it as a wake turbulence. Wake turbulence normally, is actually from the jet engine. They have a wake turbulence. Okay, or from the engine in front of you, you go to fly in front of other people, then you have that turbulence from that engine and hit your canopy, and that also can make your glider collapse. So there's a few others. So this is make the glider collapse. So it's actually we know that how and why the glider collapse. So that's why initially in the earlier part of this session I said our paramotoring is actually we have to fly within our calculated risk. All right, we know the risk, we know the limit. So as long we fly within that limit, then we are very safe. At the moment you go beyond, then you're actually increasing your risk level. All right. So that's why it's very important that we fly within the limit. And if you want to go above the limit or the risk level, then you have to be more caution and you have to be more competent, more training for that.
Perfect. Perfect. So thank you so much for beautiful questions, and it made the session more alive. I can see Rohaizi will not sleep for rest of the night.
I think maybe I can awake until the next morning though.
And Vijay wants to say a quick note, and I don't want to hold anyone.
Yeah, Captain Rohaizi.
Yes, Captain.
Today's session's punchline is that what you said in the early time in this session, that no bar how many hours you flown in paramotor, but there is important how many takeoff and landings you did.
Yes.
And I am 1000% agree with you, because every takeoff and landing teaches us.
Yes.
And that's why we say happy landing. And I like that your comment. Carry on. Over to Nagendra.
Thank you so much.
Hang on. I want to
Yeah.
say this. I don't care. I just like your mustache.
Thank you, Captain. Thank you, Captain.
Fantastic. So there are a lot of topics, the safety and these subjects are very vast, and also for so much time devoted today, we could only get few drops of knowledge which Rohaizi has with his vast career and knowledge. He's like an ocean. So we will organize more talks on role of FAI, on safety, and role of
Inshallah.
and role of judges in competitions, world championships, and if people would want to know more, it will be great.
Nagendra,
yeah.
Please next time you please take a subject of competition, because now Nitin asked a question of PL2. Many pilots don't know what is PL2.
Sure.
So you take in that details, please.
Sure, we will do that. Thank you for the suggestion. So I thank you, Mr. Rohaizi, on behalf of all of us from India and wherever we joined from tonight. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Yeah, and fly and happy landings.
Thank you. Happy landings.
Thanks, Nagendra. Thanks, Rohini.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Happy landing, Captain. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Captain Rohaizi. Thank you, Nagendra.
Thank you very much.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks, Rohini. Thank you so much.
Nagendra, hold on.